Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS. Let's get to the news folks. There's some serious buzz swirling around the NFL right now, and it involves the Atlanta Falcons potentially making a game-changing move that could elevate their offense to new heights. The whispers are about a possible trade that could send Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins to Atlanta, and let me tell you, if this happens, it could redefine the Falcons' aerial attack for years to come. It's not just a rumor. It's a strategic pivot that could accelerate the Falcons' push towards Super Bowl glory, especially considering the current state of the NFC South and the league overall. Now, let's set the scene here. The Bengals are at a crossroads with their cap space tight at about $13 million, and they're facing some tough decisions. Joe Burrow's injury slump has hit their offense, and with the looming extension for Ja'Marr Chase, Cincinnati might need to make some tough choices. Higgins, who's been a reliable and explosive target since being drafted in 2020, might be on the way out, and that's where the Falcons come into the picture. Reports suggest that Atlanta could be willing to part with their fourth-round pick in the 2026 draft, a relatively low-cost investment for a player of Higgins' caliber, especially if they're prioritizing rebuilding their offensive line while still bolstering their receiving core. What makes this possible trade so appealing? Well, Higgins, who's been a contested catch artist and a deep threat, would bring a whole new dimension to the Falcons' offense. His ability to win in tight coverage and make those high-point catches as a vertical threat fits perfectly with what Desmond Ridder can do when he's throwing deep. And with Pitts coming back from injury and the possibility of adding another vertical option, the Falcons could turn into one of the most dangerous passing teams in the league. Imagine a tandem of Pitts and Higgins stretching defenses, creating mismatches all over the field. Defenses would have a hard time keeping up. Higgins, with 6 seasons under his belt, has accumulated impressive stats. Over 370 receptions, more than 170 yards, and 40 touchdowns. His yards per catch hover around 14, and he's known for his ability to make contested catches at a rate of about 55%. His yards after catch, or YAC, is around 48 yards per reception, meaning he's not just a deep threat but also someone who can rack up yards after catching the ball. His EPA per target is roughly 0.22, which is solid, especially when you consider his contested catch rate. Last season, he played 11 games with 40 receptions on 70 targets, totaling 575 yards and 7 touchdowns, maintaining a high PFF grade of 86.8. Now imagine him joining Atlanta's offense, which already has a strong offensive line, and how his presence could elevate their red zone efficiency, potentially increasing their red zone touchdown percentage by about 18%, from 58% to nearly 76%. The impact on the Falcons' offense would be immediate and significant. Higgins, as a vertical threat, would complement Pitts perfectly, freeing him up for more one-on-one opportunities. His ability to win contested catches and make plays downfield would open up the field for Ridder, not just in deep routes, but across the board. We could see a boost of over 100 yards in total receiving from last season's 800 yards, along with an increase of about 10 touchdowns. Deep routes would become more prevalent, with EPA per play jumping by around 16% and YAC yards increasing by 12%. Such a move would not just elevate Atlanta's passing game, but also give defenses nightmares trying to cover all these threats. Now the question is, why would Cincinnati even consider trading Higgins? Well, aside from the cap situation, they are in a rebuilding phase on their secondary and edge rushers, and they need to free up some cap space to make those moves. Losing Higgins might hurt their aerial yards, which could drop by about 20%, similar to what the Dolphins experienced after losing Tyreek Hill's deep threat. Cincinnati is also focusing on rebuilding their defense, especially after allowing an average of 3.2 sacks per game last season. They need to bolster their secondary and pass rush to stay competitive. For Atlanta, snagging Higgins would be a major coup. It's a move that could turn their offense into one of the league's most explosive units. His presence would also help alleviate some pressure on Ridder and Pitts, giving the Falcons a more balanced attack. The chemistry between Higgins and Pitts could be electric, especially on those contested high throws, where Higgins's contested catch rate and route running ability shine. This partnership could create serious mismatches for defenses, especially with the Falcons' deep threat potential. Let's talk about some numbers to really drive home the point. If Higgins joins Atlanta, his deep routes and contested catches will likely increase the team's total first downs by about 12%, thanks to his ability to win tight coverage. His presence could also help improve the Falcons' third down conversion rate significantly, potentially jumping from around 38% up to 51%. That kind of efficiency is exactly what you need when pushing for playoff and Super Bowl success. The offense could see a jump from a PFF grade of 86, 5 to over 92, reflecting the upgrade Higgins would bring. Not only that, but the Falcons would also benefit from his ability to stretch the field, creating more space for Pitts, Bijan Robinson, and the rest of the offense. This would translate into more big plays per game, potentially adding 10 more explosive offensive plays each week. The EPA per target would remain stable at around 0.22, but the overall yardage and scoring opportunities would spike. Defenses would struggle to keep up, especially with Higgins's ability to make contested catches at a rate of 55%. His presence would also help reduce turnovers caused by contested catches, which are often critical in close games. Looking ahead to the postseason, these upgrades could be the difference maker. The Falcons' odds of winning the NFC and making a deep playoff run could improve. Currently, their Super Bowl odds are around plus 5,000, but with a move like Higgins, some betting markets suggest those odds could tighten to plus 3,000. That's a massive shift, echoing the Bengals' 2022 run when they made it to the AFC Championship with a similar boost in their passing game. Higgins's ability to draw big-time throws, about 35 per season, would be crucial in clutch moments, especially in tight playoff games where every yard and every catch counts. In conclusion, this potential trade is more than just a move for the Falcons, it's a statement. It signals that Atlanta is serious about competing at the highest level and isn't afraid to make bold moves to get there. Higgins's addition would instantly elevate their aerial attack, making them a nightmare for defenses and a team that can score from anywhere on the field. It's a move that could establish a new era of Falcons football, one where the sky's the limit and the deep ball becomes a regular part of their arsenal. The Falcons have been building steadily, and this kind of upgrade could be the final piece needed to push them into serious Super Bowl contention, cementing their place as a dominant force in the NFC for years to come. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news.